Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Milo here, being joined by
Zino,
once again, and today we're playing the Stanley Parable again.
let's
Uh,
go.
what is our favorite time?
420.
Why?
I've explained this to you before. It's 420. It's the stoner thing.
Yeah, okay. Very inaccurate.
I don't hear him. Is there no talking for this one?
No,
Is there any time?
because I read it last time. Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah, go for it.
You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new. Should be ready the next time you boot up the game. Do 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 do.
This is the story.
Okay, we're gonna
All of
just
his
start
co-workers
off
were
with.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Yeah, now we just
maybe
say
I
your boss
am
was
crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange
The repeat.
observations.
What?
I said the repeat.
For
The room's
example,
repeating.
why couldn't
Yep.
he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Worst part though is once we get a bucket, we have to redo it.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Well, it's this
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, we are gonna pause this real quick because my Zino has disappeared. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Okay, technical difficulties have been solved. Zeno has returned. Okay, back to where we were.
Olympic.
Wait, what?
All I know is it went black and now we're here.
Wait, then how do you... Okay then. What? You know what? We're gonna just.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh, there's another ending with the boss's office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let me.
Interact with the keyboard.
Thank you.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I didn't realize there was another ending in the boss's office.
Which ending?
Yet there was not a single
Called
person
the
here
escape
either.
pod ending.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we come up here. You have to do this.
Stepping into his manager's office,
We're gonna try that again. We're gonna try that again. I messed it up.
co-workers were gone.
Find the Nick
What
here
could it
before
mean?
leaving.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I messed that up.
Of course you did.
I
When
almost
Stanley
did it,
came
but
to
I
a set
backed
of
out
two open
because I thought it was
doors,
closed,
he entered the
and
door
then it
on
closed
his
on
left.
me. I was like, no! And I didn't feel like trying to deal with that, so just...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping in.
Now we literally just return.
We have escaped the voice.
This door 428 will now be open. Upon entering the door, you will be teleported to a room labeled 744. I've never done this ending before. Oh. Oh, computer. Be my friend, please.
Your computer hates this.
You are now...
There's no voice. Or 760.
We have to do this until we reach for
760.
yeah.
Darkness.
That's the ending.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
I've never heard that line before. So it says the next.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I've heard that line so many times now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You didn't check for a new computer, by the way. Oh, is it this one already?
Do I have to get an ending or can I just reset the game?
I believe we can just restart it.
Because I don't feel like going all the way through and trying to get. Like, because I've already gotten all those endings, you know.
Yeah.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
I thought the secretary desk, the computer was the last one.
Apparently not.
Apparently.
Apparently, so for this one.
My eyes.
You get to push buttons until you decide to manually read them. We were pushing every single button. Wait, did they reset? Aww.
Yeah, they reset.
That was boring.
At least you did it.
So that is every single ending on the left side, though.
Yeah, I believe so. Unless we find a new one. Or until we get the bucket, really. But yeah.
Okay, okay. This is the ending I want to do. Oh! Okay, this is... I actually had to find... This was the one I was trying to find the ending to, because I didn't remember how you get it. Oh my
A
goodness.
soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And
That
if
is
it did,
also
it
another
stopped
thing.
shortly
I knew.
after.
Oh
Stanley
my
hoped
gosh.
that he would one day see
I think
weather.
it's because of how long you wait in the room before you decide to leave.
The only line I remember that I've heard that's other than the basic one is someone was following Stanley. Stanley knew if he looked behind at the right time, he would see it.
That was the one I was talking about when you speed run it and get a secret Easter egg thing.
I never saw anyone though.
Yeah, because did you ever look through the glass?
No.
And he missed
I
it.
got it like 4 times in a row once.
Yeah, because how fast you run through stuff. Like as soon as you spawn, you run through.
When Stanley came to a set of tours, this was not the correct way to the meeting
See someone walk by.
Okay.
room,
I'll
and
try
Stanley
the,
knew it perfectly well.
I'll try and get it.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Is there any for
Someone
jumping
you've
onto
been
the metal
neglecting,
railing down below you?
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? That wasn't supposed to be your choice. How did you do that?
Yeah, that's how you get the ending I'm trying to
chose
get.
incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
It's called the not Stanley ending.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
That I am.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect.
What?
You're not a real person.
How dare you?
You're not a person.
Huh?
Look at a picture of Milo. You're not a person.
Oh yeah, that's true. Give me 5 milliseconds because I need to turn off the fan.
I can't believe you thought you were a person.
Okay, mission accomplished. Fan is now turned off.
I can't believe you thought you were a person.
It will bite you in a place that'll hurt.
You can't say that on YouTube.
I can say I can bite. I'm gonna bite you in a place that'll hurt.
I know what it means.
Yep. That's why I'm saying it that way.
You're gonna have to cut what I'm about to say out if you know how.
I don't.
Well, then
I'm still
I will say
learning
it later.
how to edit, okay? Give me a break.
Choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you've made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, it can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not...
I'm sorry, did that just say 2 plus 4 equals fish?
Does it not equal fish?
No, it equals 6!
I thought it was fish to the square root of pi.
I expect you to say that. That actually caught me off guard. And I choked on my cheese it.
How? What do you expect me to say?
I don't know! But I'm surprised I didn't expect that, because it's you!
Makes sense. In all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
No.
No.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less?
I don't know.
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You can take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is be...
What?
Let me rephrase that. Why are you quiet?
I don't know.
Behave exactly as Stanley. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh. Oh, I messed up.
I'm guessing we're supposed to go through the other door.
Yeah.
Time to restart.
I think I have to, but give me a second.
Yet there was not a single person here
In
either.
Darfur, I feel
Feeling
like
the
it's
wave
the
of
one where you
dis-
do absolutely everything wrong, ain't it?
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley...
So it says taking the right door. Oh, so it's you can do that. Goes on a rant. Stanley destroyed his work, and then you go back to the two doors. Take the left door.
He walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Downstairs, it's. But then it's.
Stepping inside his manager's
Mhm.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Manager?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work?
But
There was
Stanley
only
is
one
unable
way to
to
find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Can you not interact with it?
No, this is part of it.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark
It's-
115.
Stanley doesn't talk in the
He
game.
spoke
Doesn't
his
have
into the
like the
receiver,
ability to
right
talk.
there on the wall.
But the narrator doesn't know that.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah,
You
I
didn't
guess-
mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. It's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
What?
I said it was funny.
Yeah.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? You're listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct.
One narrator.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Sorry, Leroy.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Oh, wow, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley left from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Oh, so that's just always like that, I guess?
Yep.
Okay then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What?
What?
Look at where I'm at. This isn't...
I see. It's a random layout that happens at times.
Why?
Because secret.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
So the endings we still have left to get, we gotta get the apartment ending, the Zending, the games ending, the art ending, we got the serious ending, the whiteboard ending, and then the bucket endings. So I'm gonna do the apartment ending, and then I think that'll be it for part.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm trying to, but my computer is deciding it doesn't like me. Oh my gosh! One moment, technical difficulties.
What happened?
My computer's currently trying to die.
Crash?
Oh my gosh. Hang on. Is it alive now? Not really.
Nope.
There it goes. Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your...
That's bright.
It is very bright.
Is it supposed to be this bright for this long?
I don't... Oh.
Here, there we are.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Can't move.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh no. But that was cute.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh.
Yay.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing
no,
exactly what he's
to the
told
bed.
to do.
Which is why
He's
this is
pushing a
blocked
button.
and over,
Now
and then
he's
when he
eating
turns,
lunch.
it's not blocked.
Now
He can't,
he's going home.
because it
Yeah.
slowly turns back
He's
to
coming
blocked.
back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always had.
What?
I was reading what it said.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
Okay.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Oh!
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
So that'll be it for part 3 then.
Rip.
Please die. Oh god.
I mean, he worked himself to death. What do you expect?
So that's part 3. We'll see you guys next time.
No happy ending, just death.